Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike. Hope you're having a great day. This is my really late review of the comics from 6/23/2021, specifically the last four DC books. Um, First up, we have Wonder Woman 774, continuing on with her journey, and I was actually kind of confused on where she was going, but she is still in the afterlife. Before she was in you know, Asgard and, with the Vikings and stuff like that. Now she's back in her realm and she's at Olympus. Um, Getting there, she's realized that there's been a big battle. All the gods are either dead or gone. Um, she ends up running into one of the new gods, I guess you could say. He's like a mix of Roman and Greek mixed together. And he kind of explains, I'm just showing you random art, but he just kind of explains that Hermes from Greek mythology and Roman mythology, like Mercury, that it kind of made sense to merge the two mythologies, something like that. Um, but this specific god, he's like it's like a two in one. And we see right here, if you can see him, his back is like messed up. And what it is, he used to be one of two beings. He sees nothing but the past, and his other side sees points to the future. Um, it does look like we will get a repeat of a couple issues back with this evil version of Wonder Woman. So she has taken the form, of this evil Wonder Woman, but basically it's Janus is how I think it's pronounced, Janus. But his and her name are both pronounced the same because they were one and the same. But he says now that they're not connected. That he doesn't know the future because he can only see the past. Wonder Woman does believe that there's something nefarious going on with his side. She is trying to find out what's going on with all the gods. She gets in contact with Boston Brand, aka Deadman, and they're going to go on this adventure to the graveyard of the gods to try and find out what happened. There is a major spoiler that I'm not going to go into once they get down there, but it is pretty cool. The side story is young Diana, and she still has the scroll from before, and it seems like the scroll is talking to her, and it tells her the story about this young Greek boy that was, I guess maybe, he was on Themyscira, but he was in some battle, and he ends up dying, but it's all about the story about how courageous and like loving and kind he was, and he eventually gets killed by his own soldiers. Young Diana finds this out, and she's kind of weirded out by it that Themyscira, the other Amazons would hide this from her. So she's kind of reading it in secret. At the same time, it kind of looks like it's like slowly possessing her because she's getting very attached to the scroll and the story, and eventually her teacher, and I can't remember her name, of course bad with names, but eventually her teacher accidentally breaks the parchment of the scroll, and it seems to break the spell, and that's where I'm going to leave it at because it does kind of continue us on to the next story, and that was Wonder Woman 774. The art in Wonder Woman was really good. The story, everything is still, man, it's just amazing. I've loved this Wonder Woman from the past four issues. It's really good. Next up, we have Infinity Frontier 1 of 6. And this, if y'all didn't know, there was a Zero issue that came out. But Infinity Frontier is setting up, and it's the Justice League, no, I probably said it wrong, but the Justice Incarnate. Hold on, let me make sure. Yes, Justice Incarnate, and they're like the protectors of the multiverse after the events of Death Knight Metal, and they kind of go into that because they actually have a couple shots in here. But we're following different events from the multiverse. One major event is Thomas Wayne has somehow, Flashpoint Batman has somehow made it to President Superman's Earth for some reason. He has escaped the whole Death Knight's Metal event, which, as far as I know it, only the Justice League members survive that. It does pick. It just shoots him on there, and he ends up like on President Superman's farm. After that, it's really just following different members. Like we get in touch with like Alan Scott, and from the cover we can tell he's going to be a member. But a lot of this has to do with the previous issue and the whole Rift series. We do get different glimpses of like, them talking about the events of death metal. It's basically going through, we do get to see, and they call him something different. I always call him Director Bones or Mr. I think he's had like several names, but they do show you that he's kind of trying to recruit people to, protect the multiverse as well, or get ready for whatever the multiverse does have. They jump back into Thomas Wayne, his part of the story, and he is with the Justice League Incarnate. He's coming in contact with Captain Carrot, and they kind of roughly explain to him what's going on, and they're asking him questions. How did he end up there? But the other members are Captain Carrot, Aquawoman, Mary Marvel from Earth 5, and then Machine Head from Earth 8, and then President Superman, but that is the Justice Incarnate. And at the very end, it does touch up, add something else from Justice League. Flash had been doing something, and he said he was working with someone. In this issue, we do see that the main continuity Flash, Barry Allen, is in contacts with the multiverse, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with the multiverse with President Superman. At the very end, it does touch up on Roy Harper, and there is a group that's looking for Roy now that he is back alive. The comic was really good. It was really interesting. No Darkseid or anything, but it's just story build-up. They're building the group, the Justice Incarnate, or the Protectors of the Multiverse after the events of, Death Metal. Next up, we had Batman and Superman number 19, and this story just keeps getting better and better. They're in the fights with this guy Arturo I.O. or Amateur I.O. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and he's over here. And he basically is like kind of like a mini god, and he's able to, take things from different universes as far as film and comics and animation and TV and stuff like that, and he can take weapons and characters and throw them into other films or just the regular world. I want to say it's a 1950s Superman, and it's a 1939 Batman and Robin that are on this trek together. They don't know each other. Batman at this time has not met Superman. Superman, I think he stated that his Batman was a little different. But we're basically, they're basically on the trail of this guy. They've kind of like weakened, Arturo at the end of this fight, and he's trying to escape. He's using like every means necessary to get away from Superman and Batman and Robin. At the same time, Dr. Adam is there, and I think it's revealed that Dr. Adam is like that version of Lex Luthor. He does like almost mortally wound the Arturo guy, and that's why he's like fleeing. As they're fleeing, they start following him. They go to this other Earth where they automatically all of them have jetpacks, and the Arturo has changed into this huge, sandworm looking thing. They call it like a quake worm. Eventually during the battle, they come across some super laser, and they do run into this other girl that is going to be a mainstay with them, but I think her name is Elena. And she's here with the scientist, and he's developing some laser. They end up shooting the laser at Arturo, and they figure out that Arturo or Amateur or whatever his name is, that he's basically wearing armor and there's something underneath. After this, they do flash forward into this western where they run into El Diablo, and they're basically on a train. Arturo or Amateur.io, or however you say his name, is has turned into the train, and it's basically he has a whole bunch of regular people kidnapped. You know, it's El Diablo running into Superman and Batman because, of course, nobody knows each other. There is a great line where like El Diablo shows off his pistol skills, and Robin's like, "Batman, are you sure you don't want to do the no guns, Batman?" And he's like, "Yep, still cowardly." You know, I thought that was kind of funny. But anyways, it goes through and they end up fighting Arturo again. As they're fighting him, Batman kind of realizes what the science behind the weapon that they had used to blast Arturo before, and they basically recreate that using Superman's super speed. They learned that Arturo is some kind of other being that used to be something else that has kind of been attacked by whatever this armor is and became became this being that is now Amateur.io, or but basically that's where I'm going to leave it off, man. If y'all have not picked up Batman Superman, I know the beginning of this, like issues 1 through 11 were they were okay, man. From I think it's 16. If you can get 16, 17, 18, and 19, man, this story is one of the better ones that DC's doing, in my opinion. Last but not least, definitely not least, this was a very good issue. Batman Detective Comics 1038, also with the side story about Penguin. I'll give you a little cover action with him and Huntress. This story is basically picking up right at the end of the last, Batman was basically being chased, or Bruce Wayne was being chased by Mr. Worth. He quickly changes into Batman. Mr. Worth, that's so quick that Mr. Worth didn't even realize that he's changed into Batman, even though he was like right behind him when they were chasing. But he's still got the rocket launcher. He's blasting, all kind of stuff in the sewers. At the same time, Batman's trying to keep this clay face lady safe and secure. Huntress doesn't really know how to do that. That's she was tasked with that. At the same time, it's the same thing. It's the big battle. It basically does skip through, and the Clayface lady, she does end up escaping Batman's little confinement. I mean, I say confinement, but I don't think she was locked up or anything. I think she was just like sleeping or something like that. But I don't think they had locked any of the doors, because she easily just walks out. She does end up in the sewers, and Mr. Worth ends up seeing her. Upon seeing her, she gets scared and kind of disintegrates. There is a repercussion for this whole thing. They go into this whole thing where Mr. Worth, they show on the news he's being arrested, and almost instantaneously he's released because he's that powerful. Before, in a side story, I think like maybe the issue before, Mr. Worth I think he tried reaching out to Penguin, or it was like the other way around. I think it was Mr. Worth reaching out to Penguin, and he didn't take that offer. But this new guy that's been in the background, he was working for the mayor. I think his name is Vile. He's got a cool, villain name, Vile. But him and Mr. Worth, like kind of in the middle of this, they're tag teaming, and they're going to go up against Batman. Mr. Worth is not only against Batman, but now he's after Bruce Wayne as well. They do show, let's see, a little more of like Batman and Huntress trying to like figure out what's going on, where Mr. Worth went after he got after he got let out. He has kidnapped somebody, and he's got her all bombed up and stuff, and of course he's got his bazookas, and he set a trap for Batman and the Huntress. It doesn't go that way, but that's all I'm gonna give you. Then it's the side story with Penguin, which it was just as good, but basically it's this whole side story about like him running into some of the other Bat kids. Spoiler, and I guess she's going by Batgirl. I don't remember, But it's basically like his run-in with these two, the Bat family, and they kind of make a comment, Penguin's not that good, we got something else to take care of, and they take off, and Penguin's like, and then one of his henchmen is like, well, I guess they had somebody more important to take care of. So the whole rest of the comic is like, they kind of shows the same henchman that made that comment, it kind of shows him making, other comments towards Penguin and stuff like that. And then this guy, based on a reporter, shows up, and he wants to interview Penguin, and he's mocking Penguin and telling him all this basically insulting stuff, as far as like, man, you're a punk and you're a small time villain and blah blah blah, and Penguin's not, he might look it, but of course it gets a little bloody, he beats the crud out of him. And basically goes after the other henchmen, and kind of at the end of it, we just see Penguin, picking up the phone and calling Mr. Worth, like he might be a part of that Vile and that whole tag team crew. Maybe like they're building their own Sinister Six, I don't know. But that was the last books I had to read, and I finally got to do it and review it for y'all. Hopefully I didn't spoil too much. If y'all haven't read these, if y'all have, let me know what y'all thinking. All these books were really good. Even the you think the gimmicky cowboy, and I love westerns, but it is kind of gimmicky when you got Batman and Superman riding out to the sunset. Why is Superman riding a horse? I don't know. But yeah, they were really good. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks everybody for watching. Good luck to everybody out there. They got a couple giveaways. I know LCS just did one. Check it out. But y'all have a great one.